Compliance with the Open Public Meetings Law, I wish to state that on May the 22nd, 2015, the notice of this meeting of the Upper Township Committee was posted on the official township bulletin board, mailed to the Cape May County Gazette, the Atlantic City Press, the Ocean City Sentinel Ledger, and the Herald Times. It's filed with the township clerk. Tonight's meeting is being video recorded up until the closed session portion of this meeting and will be available on UTTV Channel 97 and on the Upper Township website. I hereby direct this announcement made a part of this minutes of the meeting. I would ask all to rise for the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Barbara, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Here.
Mr. Coggins?
Here.
Mr. Pearson?
Here.
Mr. Young is absent. Mayor Colombo?
Here.
Four members are present.
And I would just like to say condolences out to Mr. Young. Aleen's mother passed away, and I know he's working and helping her with getting through that difficult time. So he may be joining us later, but they have a lot of arrangements to take care of. So, would someone like to make approval of the minutes for the regular meeting and the closed session minutes?
Motion to approve. Second.
Any corrections, deletions, omissions that anyone's aware of? Hearing none. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Mayor Colombo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. 4 in favor.
Okay. Barbara, welcome back to you. You have been helping your husband, and I'm not going to get into HIPAA violations or anything, so, but welcome back. Nice to see your face. I don't know if you had anything for us this evening, but we're happy that you're here this evening.
Thank you. My husband is doing well, thank you. And I have nothing to report this evening. So
Great,
thank you.
good to hear. Daniel?
Nothing at this time, but we do have a number of items for closed session.
Okay. Paul, do you have anything for us this evening?
Just a few things. One, I wanted to let you know that last week the developer finished the surface course paving on Megan Lane. That was a subdivision that had previous approvals. Numerous homes have been completed, and they're kind of in a standstill with some of the other vacant lots. So he kind of took advantage of this nice weather, got the road paved, and so now he's going to be. We just need to do a resolution to accept the project and to start the 2-year maintenance bond procedure and release his performance bond. And he needs that resolution to start the documentation with his bonding company. So you can have that for the next meeting. That would be good.
Do you need to make a motion for the?
No, we'll just put it on the agenda as long as we have the documentation. I haven't seen anything yet, but we'll do
Letter and stuff like that for the resolution at the next meeting.
Okay.
Also want to give you an update on the Beachville. I did send an email to everybody this morning. We got the notice yesterday afternoon that the dredge Illinois ran into some mechanical problems. The cutter head has some problems, so they had to get a new cutter head up from Norfolk. So there won't be any dredging operations until they can get that part replaced on the dredge, taking 2 or 3 more days from today to get everything back up and running. But they will continue working on the crossovers and dune fence in the meantime.
I was going to say it's a shame because they're making incredible progress. I was there, Ed and I were there Friday. I was there Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And each day they progressively, had more and more beach moving northward. So it's an incredible amount of beach that we already have down there. But there's a huge drop off from Williams on north. You can't even get on the beach at that point. So
yeah, it's an amazing project. The way that it's going right now.
We still do have the issue of the American oyster catcher. From my understanding, is still out on the beach. Over this next week, they'll be making a determination of where the buffer zone is finally, and if they can proceed or if they have to stop and come back to that area. But at least they'll have most part of the municipal beach area, the area of the beach that we protect for beach patrol, will be completed.
now there's another oyster catcher that had eggs hatched right by the Deauville, by
Yes.
the bridge there.
Correct. And I think that pair was there at that, almost that exact same location last year.
Right.
So,
And they had three chicks hatch, which is pretty amazing, really.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I had for, the one last thing I do is, if we could, we need a resolution for the next meeting about joining USA Communities. That's another, one of the national co-ops. We're looking to source them as one of the vendors for materials for various building projects that we have coming up.
U.S. communities?
U.S. Communities,
Okay.
right?
You
I
said
think that-
USA
Oh,
communities.
I'm sorry, just U.S. Communities, I'm sorry. So the typical process is, we do a resolution authorizing to join the co-op, and then there's a 20-day public notification process that we're going to anticipate utilizing one of the vendors or more vendors from that co-op. And then it would come back to the committee for the actual dollar amount and price quotes when we go to purchase.
Is that the same one we bought the mower from?
Different co-op,
Different
it's a
co-op?
national co-op, but different organization. There's typically no cost to join this one, there is no cost to join. I was at a seminar with U.S. Communities and a lot of their vendors the beginning of the month. We could take advantage of saving some money by joining, so.
So we need a motion to,
Well, will be a resolution on the next meeting unless someone objects.
Yeah.
Typically, we've done it by motion to join.
Yeah, I'm done by resolution.
No, usually the resolution comes after, as we go through the process, after the advertisement period, then the resolution to authorize the purchase.
So basically, you need a voice vote resolution to fill out the applications.
It'll be an online application, just a motion.
So maybe for that purpose, you should probably have a motion in a second.
make a motion to join.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Would you call the roll, Barbara?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Mayor Columbus?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Coggins, you have anything for us this evening?
Yes, nothing from a financial perspective, but I wanted to make the committee aware of some complaints I've been receiving, and I'd like to preface this with the fact that I've been discussing it with Paul, and Paul has taken some action to try to mitigate some of the issues. Up along Railroad Avenue, near the Tuckahoe train station, the state is using a right-of-way up there for the storage of a lot of their materials for this pipeline that they're putting in along Route 50. I've had 4 phone calls, and the high spots are early starts, delivery trucks getting there at 4 o'clock in the morning, starting to unstrap their loads. There was some dumping of millings on the site from milling up the center line of the road. The millings have subsequently been removed. There's been some littering of the strapping material that's holding the material in flatbed trucks as they arrive. The straps has just been cut off and they're laying out in the street. Operating machinery in what appears to be a reckless manner, moving very quickly with the yellow iron, which would be the forklifts and the earth movers and so on and so forth. Also, there are some issues with, since the intersection of 49 and 50 has been tied up, there's a number of people that have been using Railroad Avenue as a cut through to Mill Road and then back onto Route 50. So with that, there's been a request by some of the residents up there that we put a no through traffic sign up, similar to what we may have done down the Hope Corson Road or down the roads adjacent to.
GM.
Right.
In fact, yesterday, they only had a one-way street on Mount Pleasant Avenue from the old schoolhouse up to the Masonic Lodge behind Tuckahoe Fire Station. And there was a state trooper there and was only allowing local traffic to utilize going, I don't know if it's south or east, but not north to avoid the traffic on 50. So there's some issues there too, and it's all related to the same thing with the construction.
And I think the final concern that they have is that, this area that's being used for the staging area is, it's their neighborhood. The little right-of-way area was a fairly well-kept area and not unattractive for the people to look at. And they want to make sure that, you know, when the construction is completed and they're finished using the right-of-way, that it's restored to its original state.
I think we're experiencing the same concerns down at the,
Bridge.
down at the bridge with the ramp,
Yeah.
so I mean, Paul, maybe what we ought to do is set up a meeting, find out who the point person is for this construction site, and sit down with them and advise them. Some of these guys are operating, they don't have any idea that they are affecting the quality of life of people that's in the area, so bring it to their attention, and you never know, maybe they'll just clean it up, and we can work together on it. So.
And Paul has started to take those steps.
Oh, okay.
He has made some contacts, but I think it's just something that we need to be aware of, and we need to be ready to act on in any way we can.
Exactly.
Maybe we can somehow get some assistance from the county, since it is a county right-of-way that's being used for the staging area.
And Paul, you don't know if the county had been contacted anyway to use that area, do you?
I don't know if, I had emailed Dale on a couple issues, but he didn't respond back to me on those. I'll probably try to give him a call.
I'm sorry, Paul, I didn't mean to step on you, but according to what some of the residents have told me, they have tried to make Dale Foster aware of it, and, you know, anything that I'm repeating now is simply hearsay, but there was some concerns that maybe he was not aware of the fact that that area was currently being used as a right-of-way, and I believe that, you know, that he responded to the person who spoke with him, that he would look into it and get back to them. However, I'm not sure that that has occurred at this point, either way.
Right, so Paul, as you're going through this process, you might want to pull in Dale Foster as well.
I will.
Thanks, John. Anything else?
Nope, that was it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Barr?
Okay, the Public Works Department has been pretty busy out there with the brush collection. Also the roads, they've been working heavy on the roads. They just did a nice job over on Cove Road. And they're going to be working on a lot of the roadways that we've had damaged from the weather that we had this past winter, and doing drainage jobs. One other thing I just wanted to bring to the attention, I received a phone call today from a representative of the Strathmere Improvement Association, and they were questioning the operation of the jitney in Strathmere. The service that is presently being provided and the hours of operation. And Dan, would you be able to elaborate?
Well, I don't know a whole lot about it. All I know is it was a handful of businesses that apparently got together, had a brief conversation with Linda Brown. They said it was a private operation, similar to a charter, I guess. That's about all I know about it. It's not through a municipal license or an ordinance.
All right. And the concern is that they believe that there's a lot of it is speculation. As far as how the jitney is operating, the hours in which the jitney is operating. If I understand, this is the first weekend that it's operating.
I couldn't tell you.
So, is it the first weekend?
I think it was in the paper
So
last
what
week.
I'll do is I'll take it upon myself to get in touch with Linda and get in touch with the three parties I believe that hired the charter and see what's going on. You know, as far as
Yeah, because I mean, it's my understanding is it's just an extension of what is happening in CI.
I think it's
Yes.
different, but it's much more formal in CI. I think this is really just businesses chartering
Right.
a bus, jitney, whatever.
And then
it's
we'll
for
get
their
in touch with
patrons.
whoever's in the Strathmere Association, bring them up to speed and let them know what's going on.
Yeah, perhaps put the two together, they could explain it and maybe address any concerns that they have.
Exactly.
That's not to say at some point you might want an ordinance that regulates and provides public transportation. That's a different issue.
Yes. Other than that, that's all I have to report.
Okay. Mr. Pearson?
Good evening, gentlemen. The Memorial Day event was excellent. I really enjoyed that at Osprey Point. There was a lot of people there, scouts and various service organizations as well as public. It was well attended, and then I moved on from there to other events, but I really enjoyed that wake up. It was good. I will be having a security meeting on the 1st of June, 3:30 in the afternoon to 4:30 in the conference room. The EMS is, just to remind everybody, they're going to be having a back bay benefit at the Tuckahoe Inn on Saturday, May the 30th at 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Adult tickets are $25 and $15 for 20 people 20 and under. So it'll be a buffet, beer, soda, etc. I will be attending the Chiefs Association meeting tomorrow night. I want to thank Ted Kingston for a lot of his photos that he's taken of the beach project. They've been excellent. They really keep you a view of what's going on that beach project. I may be attending a FBI weapons of mass destruction training session on Monday, as long as it doesn't conflict with this security meeting. So that's one thing. The highlight of my presentation tonight is the fire commissioner's funds. Over the last 2 years, we've had some significant problems getting the funds certified by the state. And the money has come extremely late. And this puts the fire commissioners in a bind to pay their bills, and the fire companies, I should say, not just the fire commissioners, but the fire commissioners and the companies. And usually receive that money or the certificates in the March timeframe, and we usually pay them in April. But the last 2 years, we're not paying until May, late May, going into June. So we need to make a payment, and I think we discussed making half of the payment
That's correct.
right now,
That's correct.
so that we could get them operational, because they've got some debts coming up. You know, there's some companies are purchasing large amounts of equipment, et cetera, and they need that money. So I would propose that we do that. But I would also propose that we need to get that money locked in a budget process, or not a budget process, I should say, but a process similar to the way we do the school board with their money, that it's done monthly, they pay that, and the county gets their taxes quarterly.
That's correct.
What we're doing right now is we're actually paying money out before we receive it, the tax money. That's the point I'm trying to make. We're paying the money up front, and then we get the tax money in. So what I would suggest, and I've talked this over with Barbara, is that we make next year, once the elections are finished and the budget has been passed by the public, and the elections are over in February, that we would make a payment in one of our March meetings, of a quarter payment in the March meeting. Then in May, we would make another quarter payment. And then in August, we would give them the rest of their money in August. And that way they'll be satisfactorily operational through the whole year. And we're not running anything different than the way we do the school budget and the county
Were
budget.
those, was that proposal run by the auditor? I mean, what do you
Yeah.
wait for from the state to make that payment?
Well, what the holdup has been is the certification from the state, and that typically has been coming later and later from the state each year, which puts the fire companies
I
in
understand.
bind.
And that's usually what you wait for to make the payment, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
And then it's usually payment in full. The auditor has suggested, some years ago, the auditor suggested that we make those payments quarterly.
Okay,
Um,
as long as it's
Yeah.
clear with the auditor, that's all I
Yeah,
was asking.
and we did check that. I asked her
Okay.
to do that so that we wouldn't get our stuff in a bunch, our knickers in a knot.
So does that have to be done by resolution? If we were to go ahead and give
I
them
think you,
an
as long as
allocation?
Barbara's okay, she cleared with the auditor, you can do a motion in a second and authorize the payments in that manner.
Okay, well then, I would move that we make the half payment appropriately for this year, right now.
And that's for all four fire districts.
That's for all four of the fire districts. And then a half payment in August.
Okay,
Then for next year and following years, we do a quarter payment in May, quarter payment in March, a quarter payment in May, and the final half payment in August. That's my motion.
I'll second that.
Okay. A first and a second. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Thank you,
Motion's
John.
carried.
Okay, the only thing I have is to remind everyone that we actually have, our lifeguards are on alert, which means that they are in the lifeguard station. They are not actively on stands. They will be, I believe, It's whatever the first Saturday in June is. Let me see.
It's
June
the
4th.
fifth.
So they're actually, there'll probably be stands this coming Saturday. Is that this week? No, it's next week.
Next week.
So there'll be one more alert. There'll be guards that'll be in the lifeguard station, and if an emergency happens, they'll respond. They're a little inconvenienced right now in the fact that where the beach replenishment's going on is in front of the lifeguard station, so they have staged the personal watercraft and some of the other emergency vehicles strategically throughout the Strathmere area that isn't affected by the beach replenishment. But as of June the 4th, we will have guards on there going forward through June and then all the way up to Labor Day. But again, for next week, there won't be guards on the beach. They will be in the stand, what they call an alert mode, so if an emergency happens, they'll go out and respond. So that's all I have. Barbara, do you want to move on with the resolutions?
Certainly. Item number 1, honoring Savannah Kennelly on her selection as New Jersey's Miss 2015 at the New Jersey National Teenager Scholarship Pageant.
Move the resolution.
Second?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 2, honoring Katie Wenzel on her selection as New Jersey's preteen National Teenager 2015 at the New Jersey National Teenager Scholarship Pageant.
Move the resolution.
Second?
Would you call the roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 3, honoring Antonio Giannini on attaining the designation of Eagle Scout.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Would you call the roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 4, recognizing the Community Emergency Response Team, CERT, of Upper Township for 2015.
Move the resolution.
Second.
And I'd just like to add that our OEM person, Scott Morgan, has commented that we have some very dedicated individuals from Upper Township. As we all know, Ocean City has a pretty established CERT team. They were involved a lot when Hurricane Sandy came, and we had a lot of evacuees that were staged in our middle school. These folks are joining the ranks from Upper Township and will also be in partners, and they'll be working together with Ocean City for both issues that Ocean City has as well as what could potentially happen here. Hopefully we won't have any disasters, but if they were to occur, they'll certainly be involved here as well. So, would you call the roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 5, adopting an amendment to the Upper Township Rules and Regulations for sports and recreation programs and use of township facilities.
Dan, I think you've worked a little bit with Mr. Young on this.
This is the matter that, I think 2 meetings ago, the Township Committee directed me to prepare an amendment. At the time, we perhaps thought an ordinance amendment was required, but after reviewing it, you do have the authority under the ordinance to set these rules and regulations. And it's the amendment that requires the governing board of any organization that's recognized for an ongoing program to be a majority of township full-time residents.
Okay. And I think we said at least 75% or something?
No,
Three-quarter?
Majority, just majority. Move the resolution.
Second?
Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
I'm going to abstain on the basis of my preference to go with 100% Upper Township residents for these sports boards.
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried with 3 in favor. Item number 6, amending resolution number 12, 2015, confirming appointment of various employees to annual and specified terms.
Move the resolution.
Second?
Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 7, authorizing the Township of Upper to accept a vehicle from the New Jersey State Agency for surplus property through the New Jersey State Police Emergency Management Section as part of the Federal Surplus Property Program.
Move the resolution.
Second.
And again, this is directly involved with our OEM department. They are obtaining, and they have obtained several vehicles for the township at no cost to the township. And these are vehicles that will certainly act as adjuncts to some of the equipment that we already have. And some of the things that we're having is an opportunity to share not only with other municipalities, but they've gotten a lot of surplus as well. So this should really help to curtail some of the capital purchases in the future. Let's call the roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 8, amending the official organizational chart for the Township of Upper.
Move the resolution.
Second.
And this is what we have discussed recently. So would you call the roll, please, Barbara?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 9, authorizing the mayor to sign and submit a grant agreement with the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection for the grant program entitled Building Ecological Solutions to Coastal Community Hazards.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Paul, is there anything we need to know about this?
No, this is the same grant we've kind of, it's, from an administrative paperwork standpoint, it's drug on because the state DAG's office is, in their cumbersome ways of working with the federal government, really has trouble formulating how to write the grant agreement in connection with all the federal grant requirements that they have. And this is really coming back to you because you approved this previously, but because of that resolution was not within 60 days of the actual time when we signed it and authorized it, it's kind of, this is just a reauthorization saying, we reauthorize it to sign it based on the requirements.
Essentially you're saying you still agree.
Okay, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 10, authorizing participation in the South Jersey Power Cooperative for electric service.
Move the resolution.
Second.
And we talked about this. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Mayor, can I have a little discussion?
Sure.
To follow up on that, please, if you don't mind? At the school board's last meeting last week, they are putting out the RFP for solar for their facilities. So where we had some administrative issues previously in working with them, we can kind of maybe correct some of that paperwork. And I just wanted to ask the committee if we wanted to follow through and, make the necessary paperwork adjustments with the school so that, as their vendors are looking at it, to make it clear that it, looking at our facilities as a cooperative purchasing arrangement when they receive their bids.
I think that would have to be done, Barbara, correct me if I'm wrong, as a cooperative pricing type program.
I mean, similar to what.
And it's going to require some formal resolutions as well, so if you want us to start a dialogue with the school and their business administrator and perhaps their solicitor, there might be some other, for example, the co-op that we just joined, we would have to make sure that it doesn't conflict, whatever their specs say doesn't conflict with that. So there's nothing wrong with you giving direction, but it's going to come back to you.
Sure, yes, I just wanted to make sure that the committee was okay and wanted to proceed in that fashion to see what, if they get that similar pricing that they had the last time, we may want to look at taking advantage of that pricing.
So,
Yeah, I mean, as long as potentially we're saving money for an investment, or it's certainly something that we should have a responsibility to entertain. But I just don't want to get involved with a project where we're doing something for the sake of doing it and we're not saving any money.
Well, what you could do is ask if they can direct the staff to approach the school district to have the proper bid specs for an optional program for us to be bid as well, so that we're not mandatorily required, and then you decide. The last time we did something like this, I think, on a larger scale, was when we did the revow and Middle Township was the lead agency on it, and we weren't required to take that contract, but we did. That was not this revow, but the one back in 2005. So that's the type of thing I think that has to be done. A motion and a second to direct Paul, and Barbara, and myself to talk to the school and make sure that when they put it out, it has the required elements in it for a township.
Someone make a motion?
Well, should we clear the other motion first?
I thought we did.
We did?
No,
Did we vote on
did.
that?
We did.
Yeah, did?
Yeah, we voted
Maybe I
on
was just,
it.
okay, sorry. Because I heard a question.
Yeah, I waited till after the vote.
Yeah, we voted. Sorry. Paul said, can I speak about something else?
Yeah,
I'd like to make a
okay.
motion to direct Paul and Barbara to open discussions with the school board and look into preparing specs, allowing us as an option to participate in the solar program, provided it is beneficial to us as a community.
Second. Give it to Ed.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Mayor Plumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Thank you.
Item number 11, appointing Raymond Podrier as a part-time employee to the Upper Township Construction Code Office to serve as electrical subcode official and electrical inspector on an as-needed basis.
Just to point out, you had authorized an independent contractor agreement with this individual, but he's not set up either through the state or personally to operate independently, and requested could he be paid as a part-time employee. There's a small difference in payroll tax, but beyond that, there's not any other ramifications. And we obviously, the insured supply, we need this inspector.
Motion to authorize the appointment of Mr. Podrier.
Second.
Let's call the roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Mayor Plumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 12, appointing the 2015 season beach patrol personnel.
Move the resolution?
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Mayor Colombo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 13, under ordinances, public hearing and final adoption of ordinance number 8, 2015, and ordinance amending ordinance number 17, 2014, known as the salary ordinance for the calendar year 2015.
Okay, before I open it up to the public to see if anybody wants to comment, is there any last comments between the committee or Paul or Dan? Okay, hearing none. I'll open it up to the public. Would anybody from the public like to come before us and speak about ordinance 8, 2015? It appears that there's no one here to testify at the public hearing, so I'll close the public hearing and entertain a motion for adoption.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Mayor Colombo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 14, under new business, Boy Scout Troop number 95 requests use of Amanda's Field on July 4th, 2015 for an overnight camping event.
Move to approve.
Second. And I'll just add that they were there last year and there was no problems, and you know, I think it was a good experience for the Boy Scouts. So,
Yes.
would you call the roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Mayor Colombo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 15, South Jersey Gas requests use of the community center on June 17th, 2015 for a public meeting.
Move to approve?
Second.
And Paul, just to double check, we have enough chairs. We think we're good with that. We have the
Yes.
community center.
Yes.
Okay. I will add, I guess we can go ahead and vote, but I know, let's vote and then I'll say some of the things I think we need to do to, from a safety standpoint.
Okay. Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Mayor Colombo?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
I think we're going to need to have either some sort of law enforcement. We can talk to the state troopers we may also want to talk to the sheriff's department for a couple reasons. One, it's anticipated there'll be a lot of people there, so we have somewhat limited parking at the community center. So I would like to potentially have someone to kind of direct people where to go, and then also maybe have someone inside the meeting. Not that I would anticipate any problems, but there are some emotional things that happen during these types of meetings. And, you know, just to keep some order, I think it would make sense to have someone in the building as well. So whoever's available, I think it would behoove us to make sure we have some help there as well.
In his request, if you look at the last page, they were going to reach out to the state police to make sure, you know, to help out with
Well, I mean,
traffic
if they
control.
can't, yeah, I mean, and that's who I would like to see there
Sure.
first, but, you know, we might have to ask, you know, some assistance with the sheriff's department as well as we do for some of our larger activities at Amanda's Field.
I'll make sure, you know, if they haven't reached out to the state police, that, to make other arrangements with the
Okay.
sheriff's office.
Do they,
What's the theme of the meeting?
What, hold on, what is it?
What's the subject of the meeting?
It's a South Jersey public hearing for, I think it's for the BPU, is that my
The
correct?
BPU is actually holding the meeting
Right.
to take public comment on their application.
Their application for the South Jersey gas pipeline.
Paul, excuse me, do they tape these meetings, the South Jersey Gas?
There'll be a stenographer there
Okay,
to record and take,
Okay.
to record the public comments.
okay. Thank
Just so it's clear, it's not our meeting, they're just.
Yes.
It's not our meeting, they asked to have it posted in Upper Township, and there's some conflicts with the school because we looked at their facility. We didn't think that this facility was big enough to accommodate the amount of anticipated attendees, and that's why we went with the community center.
Yeah.
And also, I believe that we were also having court that day, so I think that
Yes.
we didn't want to have any interference with the court
It is
because
a court day.
it's kind of in the afternoon and into the early evening hours.
Okay,
So we took a vote, so we can move on.
okay. Item number 16, Upper Township Soccer Association requests use of the Tyler Davis soccer fields for a traveling soccer camp on August 24th through the 28th.
Move to approve?
Second.
Let's call the roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Mayor Plummer?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Okay, would someone like to make a motion to pay the bills?
I hereby move that all claims submitted for payment at this meeting be approved and then incorporated into the full minutes of this meeting.
Second. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Mayor Plummer?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
There are 3 reports from our municipal departments, clerk's office, tax assessor, and finance office. All 3 of those reports will be available upon request tomorrow at the clerk's office. I'd like to make a motion to accept those reports.
So moved.
Second.
Would you call the roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Okay. So we have now reached the portion of the meeting where we accept public comment. If anyone would like to address the Township Committee, now's the time to do so. Please come up and state your name and address and whatever is on your mind.
Good evening, gentlemen, committee and mayor. My name is Andrew Ludwig. I'm from 251 Marshallville Road. Recently, before I get into the issue I'm talking about, I'd like to know if there was any traffic studies done on Route 9 between Marshallville Road and Route 50. And if so, I'd like to go on and talk about that because recently I've been run off the road many times by passing cars in that area. And after the last incident, I contacted the state, which said I would have to go to you gentlemen to ask for a traffic study to be done to reduce speeds and a no passing zone in that area. I cannot say we had the most recent fatal accident at the intersection of 2nd and 49. We have multiple school bus drop-offs on Route 49 that they go from ages 10 years old up to high school students who are being dropped off on the Route 49 there in the township. And I'm just asking for, they said I needed to do this, and I'm asking for a traffic study to be executed on that stretch of Route 49 to reduce the speed and to enforce a no passing zone.
So, Paul, what would be the next step? We would do a resolution requesting that a traffic study be done through NJDOT.
That's their typical procedure. I mean, I think we've done one for that section in the past, but I mean, I think, let's do some research. If we haven't done one recently, we'll pull out the file.
Well, I mean, I don't see a
Have we asked
reason
for
why
a
we shouldn't
resolution
do.
on that?
Excuse me?
Have we asked for a did we do a resolution on one once before in that area?
I mean, I was going to say, it really, I mean, at this point, I would say let's just go ahead with a new resolution, even if it's further support, to look into this, to address, some of the traffic concerns and really the public safety hazards that are involved with this. So I would suggest that we draw a resolution in support of this and forward it to NJDOT and, find out, what next steps would be to make this process move forward. Do you need a vote for us to do that, or you just be able to put that on the agenda for the next meeting?
You don't technically need a vote because the resolution is going to be the vote, but if you want to move in second and do a voice vote to direct.
Well, I mean, I'll make a motion that we develop a resolution in support of a traffic study to look at the Route 49 Marshallville area.
Second.
Would you call the roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Mayor Plummer?
Yes.
Motion carries.
So next meeting, it'll be on the agenda, and we'll do a resolution in support of that. And then from that process, we'll need that so that we can proceed with NJDOT to figure out next steps for the hopeful traffic study.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay?
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay? Hearing that there's no other people that want to participate, we'll close the public portion, and I'll turn to Mr. Coggins to read a statement to go into executive session.
I hereby move that a resolution be incorporated into the minutes authorizing the Township Committee to enter into an executive session for the following matters pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act. Contract negotiation with Caper Scatcherd, Jersey Web Design, and for the Public Works Cell Tower. Litigation for tax appeals and Upper Township versus Yankin Sansone, and personnel matters. I also include in my motion the estimated time and circumstances under which the discussion in closed session can be disclosed to the public as follows. It is anticipated that the matters discussed in closed session may be disclosed to the public upon the determination of the Township Committee that the public interest will no longer be served by such confidentiality.
Kissing sweet breath.
With respect to employment and personnel matters, such discussions will be made public if and when formal action is taken or when the individuals involved consent that it can be made public. With respect to contract negotiations, such matters will be made public when negotiations have ceased and there is no longer a reason for confidentiality. With respect to litigation matters, such discussions will be made public when litigation is complete and the applicable appeal period has expired.
Second. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Mayor Plummer?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Bless you.
Bless you.